You know that feeling when you're just spinning your wheels trying to make a change? You put in all this effort, you really do, but somehow the old habits just find their way back. What is the problem isn't about what you're doing, but about who you're being. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful shift in perspective, the identity first principle. It's a question that I think we've all asked ourselves. It is so frustrating. You set a new goal, you feel that burst of motivation, you put in the work, and then, a few weeks or maybe a few months later, you find yourself right back where you started. Look, this usually isn't about a lack of effort. So what's really going on here? What's the missing piece? This question, it gets right to the heart of why so many of our best intentions just don't stick. Okay, so on the screen here, we can see the two fundamental ways to approach change. Now, most of us were taught the one on the left, the common path. We think, if I just do all the hard work, then I will have the results I want, and then I will finally be the kind of person I want to be. But the identity first path, it flips that whole idea on its head. It says that real, lasting change starts with being. You first have to decide who you are. That identity then naturally leads you to do the things that person does. And from there, you will ultimately have what that person has. It's a total reversal. So let's really explore this paradigm shift. And I want to be clear, this isn't about finding some new life hack or a clever little strategy. No, this is about a fundamental move away from obsessing over the external results and turning our focus inward to how we actually see ourselves. And here it is, the principle in its essence. Let this just sink in for a moment. Sustainable success begins when you become the person capable of achieving it. This means that achievement doesn't create who you are. Your identity is what creates the achievement. The real goal isn't just getting the prize at the end. The goal is to become the kind of person who earns that prize just as a natural part of who they are. So this mental shift, it all starts with letting go. It means we have to release that really tight grip we have on the finish line. You know, the specific number on the scale, that revenue target, the fancy job title. We have to start seeing those things for what they are. They're just lagging measures of our identity. They're not the source of it. And instead, the focus moves inward, to your character, to the qualities, the values, the principles of the person you truly wish to be. So the guiding question is no longer, what do I want to get out of this? It becomes, who am I choosing to be right now? Now, this isn't just some nice-sounding philosophical idea. There's a really clear psychological reason why this works so well. Our brains are basically wired for consistency. So let's take a look at how our behavior naturally and almost automatically aligns with our internal sense of self. This is just a fundamental law of human psychology. We act in ways that are consistent with our deepest beliefs about ourselves. I mean, if you truly believe you're a thoughtful person, you're going to do thoughtful things without even really trying. It's just who you are. And the reverse is true too. Our actions are like an external printout of our internal identity. I love this quote because it shows us how we actually build a new identity. See, it's not some single dramatic decision. It's built through thousands of tiny choices. Every single time you choose the salad over the fries, you're casting a little vote for being a healthy person. Every time you sit down and write just one page, you cast a vote for being a writer. And all these votes, they add up. They become the evidence that solidifies your new identity. This chart just makes the difference so clear. A doing-focused mindset, that's the one on top. It needs constant willpower because you're essentially fighting against your own self-image. It's exhausting, and it almost always leads to burnout. But a being-focused mindset, well, that's centered on your internal identity. The result isn't a struggle, it's a natural alignment. The right actions just flow from who you are, and that makes consistency feel almost effortless. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually put this into practice? How do we go from just understanding the concept to actually living it? Well, this next section lays out a really practical path to start this journey of internal change. It's a pretty simple three-step process, and it's all about introspection. First, you have to define the identity you want with real clarity. Not just, I want to be in shape, but something solid like, I am an athlete. Then, step 2, describe that person. What are their traits? What do they value? An athlete is disciplined, they're consistent, they respect their body. And then step 3, this is the most important part. You have to prove it to yourself with small wins. You just ask yourself, what would an athlete do right now? And then you do that. And really, this brings this whole big concept down to a single manageable point in time. It's not about who you were yesterday or who you're hoping to be tomorrow. The only place you have any power is right now, in this very moment, with a choice that's right in front of you. Who do you choose to be? So let's just reinforce the long-term benefit here. This is not a hack. It's not a shortcut. It's a foundation. This is about building a truly sustainable path forward, where the changes you make actually become a part of you, not just a list of things you do. And this is the core truth of it all. Lasting, meaningful change, it doesn't come from external pressure or some new set of rules you have to follow. It doesn't come from the outside in. It radiates from the inside out. Sustainable success always begins from within. So I want to leave you with a final thought to reflect on. For just a moment, forget about your big long-term goals. Just look at the choices and the actions you've made today. If those actions were the only evidence, the only chapter written in the story of you, what would that story say about who you are? And is that the story you really want to be writing?